U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken wrapped up his trip to the African continent on Saturday. During his final stop in Senegal's capital, Dakar, Blinken expressed deep concern for the stability of neighboring country Mali, which has experienced 2 coups in 18 months. The Economic Community of West African States, or ECOWAS, the region's main political and economic bloc, imposed sanctions on Mali's transitional leaders earlier this month after plans for presidential and legislative elections were abandoned. Blinken said the U.S., France, and partners in Africa want to see those elections happen and Mali return to constitutional rule through democratic elections.
That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking to. And this is ultimately about the people of Mali and their aspirations for democracy, their aspirations for peace, their aspirations for development, and respect for human rights. And we look forward to taking the necessary steps to resume the full array of assistance as soon as this democratically elected government has taken office.
Blinken also used the last leg of the tour to express concerns over the ongoing hostilities in Ethiopia.
We continue to push for an immediate end to hostilities without preconditions and humanitarian access for the millions of people in northern Ethiopia who need life-saving aid. And we continue to urge Americans to avail themselves of commercial flights out of the country, and we're providing assistance to them to do so.
Blinken's visit to Africa also included talks in Kenya and Nigeria.
The disappearance of Chinese tennis player Peng has shocked the world. But according to a prominent state media journalist, she's been staying at home, quote, freely, and will make a public appearance, quote, soon. Former doubles world #1 Peng has not been seen or heard from publicly since she said on Chinese social media on November 2nd that former Vice Premier Zhang Gaoli coerced her into sex and they later had an on-off consensual relationship. But on Saturday, Global Times editor-in-chief Hu Xijin, in a tweet referring to Peng, wrote, quote, "In the past few days, she stayed in her own home freely and she didn't want to be disturbed. She will show up in public and participate in some activities soon." The Global Times is published by the official newspaper of China's ruling Communist Party, the People's Daily. Hu said he had confirmed through his sources that photos shared on Twitter by a journalist working for Chinese state media purportedly showing Peng at home depicted her current state. He also posted a video later on Saturday that appeared to show Peng at a restaurant. Reuters was not able to verify the authenticity of the pictures or video independently. In a statement, Women's Tennis Association Chairman Steve Simon said, quote, "While it is positive to see her, it remains unclear if she is free and able to make decisions and take actions on her own without coercion or external interference. This video alone is insufficient." Adding, quote, "I've been clear about what needs to happen and our relationship with China is at a crossroads."
This is horrifying.
Tennis star Novak Djokovic backed the WTA's threat to pull tournaments out of China.
The whole community, tennis community, needs to back her up and her family and make sure that she's safe and sound. Because if you would have tournaments on the Chinese soil without resolving this situation, it would be a little bit strange.
Other top players in the sport, including Naomi Osaka and Serena Williams, have tweeted hashtag #WhereIsPeng? And Roger Federer and Rafa Nadal in interviews expressed their concern and their hope to see her back soon. Neither former Vice Premier Zhang nor the Chinese government have commented on Peng's allegations. Her social media post was quickly deleted, and the topic has been blocked from discussion on China's heavily censored internet.
It's kind of getting back to normal. That's at least the new normal.
Airports around the U.S. are filling up this weekend as more Americans prepare to fly home for the Thanksgiving holiday than last year. The U.S. Transportation Security Administration screened 2.24 million airline passengers on Friday. That's the highest number of screenings since the health crisis grounded travel to a halt in March 2020. And that's just the beginning. Officials at the TSA expect to screen about 20 million air passengers during the busy Thanksgiving travel period, which stretches from November 19th to November 28th.
I'm honestly nervous to be in the airport. It's a lot of people, but...
Social distancing and mask wearing inside most airports are now the social norm, and all airlines require passengers to keep masks on during flights. Passengers said vaccines made them feel comfortable enough to fly again and get back to what they missed most, family.
It's just nice to be back. It's a little reunion.
Especially with nowadays, with how things are going, you kind of want to make sure you spend as much time as you can with people, you know.
Major airlines have been preparing for travel numbers that could come pretty close to levels not seen since the health crisis began. Delta Airlines expects to fly up to 5.6 million passengers from Friday through November 30th. That's nearly 300% above last year's Thanksgiving period, but still below the 6.3 million passengers who flew the Thanksgiving holiday period in 2019. Mother Nature, however, could be a problem. A weather pattern stretching from the Great Lakes to the northeast and southeast is forecasted to bring with it freezing temperatures and rain leading up to Thursday, which could cause trouble for travelers since weather disruptions have led to a lot of delayed and canceled flights since the summer.
Third parties are influencing this case. They've been doing it from the gallery in this courtroom. They've been doing it outside. This is what a public lynching looks like in the 21st century, with all due respect. They don't have to have 10,000 people outside. They don't have to have 100,000 people outside. Perception is reality. We have sealed these jurors off. We hope we have. We have sealed them off, and it doesn't matter how many people are outside. It doesn't matter how violent they appear to be. It doesn't take much. Just because they haven't put a gallery up, they haven't put a podium up outside with a hangman's noose on it, doesn't mean that this isn't a trial, despite the best efforts of this court. This isn't a trial that's been infected by mob violence of a woke left mob. And whether people realize that they participated in that or not, I'd like to think that the vast majority of the people outside this courthouse really have no interest in anything but justice. I want to believe that. From a lot of the people I know out there, I think that's true. But the perception is the reality. And the media have fed that perception and created a reality, whether it's true or not. Just like other people have created a false narrative, and the falsity of that narrative has been made very apparent through the trial of this case. That becomes the reality. This is what a mob-dominated trial looks like in the 21st century, and we're asking for the mistrial.
All right, the court, having heard from the movant as well as the parties, denies the motion for mistrial. I think the court's position has been accurately stated previously. I thought it appropriate, given the mistrial filed, that we have it on the record. We're going to take a lunch break.
With the help of God and in response to the aggression and its continuous crimes and siege, our armed forces carried out the operation of Eighth Balance of Power by striking a number of pivotal military targets that belong to the Saudi enemy. Targeting King Khalid base in Riyadh with 4 drones with the model Samad 3. Striking military targets in King Abdullah International Airport in Jeddah, as well as targeting Aramco facilities in Jeddah with 4 drones with the model Samad 2. Striking different military targets in the areas of Abha, Jazan, and Najran with 5 drones.
في مناطق أبها وجيزان ونجران ب5 طائرات مسيرة بلغ عدد الطائرات المسيرة.
A total of 14 drones were used in the operation. Our armed forces stress that they are capable of carrying out more attacks against the Saudi and Emirate enemies as part of our defense of our land and nation.
والإمارات في إطار الدفاع المشروع عن الشعب والوطن.